The story begins inside one of Colorado's most heavily guarded prisons, a place known for housing some of the most dangerous criminals in the country. With armed guards watching every corner 24/7 and strict security measures in place, escaping from this prison is considered impossible. Any inmate who dares to attempt an escape faces such severe punishment that it crushes the hopes of every other prisoner. Yet among these criminals sits a man named Ray, a prisoner unlike any other. At first glance, Ray looks like an ordinary inmate, but the truth is far more shocking. He is a brilliant escape expert who has successfully broken out of 14 different prisons in the past. For the last several days, Ray has been quietly studying every inch of the facility, carefully observing guard movements, security systems, and prison routines. While the guards believe they are watching him, Ray is actually analyzing them. As the days pass, Ray begins to understand the prison's entire structure. He notices weak points in the security network and memorizes every detail that could help him escape. Back inside his cell, he starts conducting a strange experiment. He counts the minutes between guard patrols and soon discovers something crucial. Every day, the guards leave their posts for exactly 7 minutes to take a smoke break. It's a tiny gap in security, but for someone like Ray, it could be all he needs. However, there is still one major obstacle standing in his way. His cell is secured by an advanced electronic locking system. Without the access code, escape would be impossible. One day, while receiving his meal, Ray notices a plastic sheet attached to a milk carton. Instantly, an idea sparks in his mind. As the guard walks away, Ray secretly places the transparent sheet over the keypad of the electronic lock. Later, when he retrieves it, the fingerprints left behind reveal the exact numbers used by the guards to unlock the cell. Now, the final phase of his plan begins. Ray secretly writes a coded letter to his associates outside the prison, informing them of the exact date and time of his escape. Then he prepares his cell by stuffing small pieces of tissue paper into the food slot mechanism, ensuring it cannot lock properly. Every piece of the puzzle is finally in place. The moment arrives when the guards leave for their routine smoke break. Acting quickly, Ray enters the stolen code into the keypad and silently unlocks his cell. He slips out, crawls through the ventilation system, and makes his way toward the prison's control room. At the very same time, outside the prison, a parked car suddenly explodes. The massive blast grabs the attention of every guard on duty, creating the perfect distraction. Taking advantage of the chaos, Ray reaches the control room and replaces his live camera feed with pre-recorded footage, making it appear as though he is still sitting inside his cell. With the guards distracted and the cameras fooled, Ray disguises himself as a firefighter who has arrived with the emergency response team. Blending in perfectly, he walks straight out of the prison gates without raising a single suspicion. Outside, a getaway vehicle is waiting for him. Ray climbs in and speeds away with his partners. For a brief moment, it seems like another flawless escape, but fate has other plans. After being dropped off on a deserted road, Ray is spotted by a passing police patrol. Still wearing prison-issued clothing, he immediately attracts attention. The officers realize he is an escaped inmate and move to arrest him. Just when everything appears lost, a mysterious man named Clark arrives and presents official documents to the police. After reviewing the papers, the officers release Ray immediately. Moments later, Clark takes him directly back to the prison he had escaped from. The prison warden is stunned to see Ray standing before him and demands an explanation. That's when Clark reveals the truth. Ray is not actually a criminal. He works for a private security company that specializes in testing prison security. His job is to enter prisons as an inmate, identify weaknesses, and prove whether an escape is possible. By successfully breaking out, Ray has just demonstrated that even this supposedly escape-proof prison has serious vulnerabilities. The warden can do nothing but accept the embarrassing truth. The next day, Ray returns to his office, where a new opportunity awaits him. A CIA agent named Jessica arrives with an offer unlike anything he has ever received before. She tells him about a secret prison hidden in an undisclosed location, a facility rumored to be the most secure prison ever built. Very few people even know it exists. Jessica offers Ray double his usual fee if he can infiltrate the prison and prove that an escape is possible. There is one catch. Once inside, Ray will receive no assistance from his team. No one will know where he is, and he will be completely on his own. Ray's colleagues immediately reject the proposal, believing it to be far too dangerous. But Jessica challenges his reputation, suggesting that perhaps the stories of his 14 successful escapes are nothing more than myths. Her words strike a nerve. Refusing to back down, Ray accepts the mission. Jessica then explains the details. Inside the prison, Ray will operate under the identity of Anthony Porter, a notorious smuggler. If anything goes wrong, he is instructed to tell the prison warden a special code, 310275. Hearing this code will reveal that Ray is working on behalf of the government, guaranteeing his release. Unknown to Jessica, however, Ray's team secretly implants a tracking device inside his body before the mission begins, determined to keep an eye on him no matter what happens. Finally, the day arrives. As Ray walks through a crowded marketplace, a black vehicle vehicle slowly pulls up beside him. The door opens, and his most dangerous mission is about to begin. Suddenly, several masked men jump out of the black vehicle, grab Ray, and force him inside. The first thing they do is remove the tracking device that had been secretly implanted in his body. It is almost as if they already knew about it. Back at Ray's office, his team watches in shock as the tracker signal disappears completely. They now have no way of knowing where he has been taken. A few moments later, the kidnappers inject Ray with a sedative, and he loses consciousness. When he finally wakes up, he finds himself inside a prison unlike anything he has ever seen before. There are no concrete walls, no traditional cell blocks, and no visible exits. Instead, every prisoner is locked inside transparent glass cells, while surveillance drones constantly hover above, monitoring every move. Even the guards are different. Every one of them wears an identical black mask, making it impossible to tell who is who or which guard is on duty at any given moment. The entire place feels more like a futuristic experiment than a prison. Realizing how impossible escape seems, Ray decides to use his emergency code. He approaches the prison warden and calls him by the name Marsh, the name Jessica had given him. However, the warden immediately corrects him. "My name isn't Marsh," the man says coldly. "My name is Hobbs." Ray's heart sinks. Trying to remain calm, he reveals the government code, 310275, expecting the warden to release him immediately. But Hobbs simply stares at him. "I have no idea what you're talking about," he replies. "All I know is that I'm being paid to keep you here, and you'll spend the rest of your life in this prison." At that moment, Ray realizes the horrifying truth. He has been set up. The next day, an announcement echoes throughout the facility. A new prisoner named Anthony has arrived. The name immediately catches the attention of an inmate named Michael. Hearing it, Michael becomes unusually alert. Soon afterward, Ray, now known as Anthony, enters the common area. Being the newest inmate, he instantly attracts attention. The veteran prisoners begin staring at him, sizing him up. Within moments, several inmates attack him. Ray fights back and manages to hold his own, but he is badly outnumbered. Just as the prisoners move in to finish him off, a voice suddenly stops them. "If anyone touches Anthony again, I'll kill him." Everyone freezes. The man speaking is Michael, the oldest and most respected prisoner in the facility. Every inmate fears him, and no one dares challenge his authority. The attackers back away immediately. Michael walks over and shakes Ray's hand. Ray thanks him for the help, but deep down he realizes something important. If he wants to survive and eventually escape this prison, he needs allies. And Michael might be the most valuable ally he can find. Over the following days, Ray carefully studies every corner of the prison, searching for weaknesses. During his observations, he notices a highly restricted section known as the isolation boxes. These punishment cells are reserved for prisoners who break prison rules. Michael notices Ray constantly examining the prison's structure and approaches him. "I can help you with whatever you're planning," Michael says. Ray looks at him and replies, "I need to get inside one of those isolation boxes." Michael smiles. "That's actually very easy." Without warning, Michael punches Ray, and a violent fight breaks out between them. Guards rush in and separate the two prisoners. Furious, Warden Hobbs orders both men to be thrown into the isolation boxes, exactly where Ray wanted to go. Inside, they experience a brutal punishment. Intense lights switch on overhead, generating unbearable heat. The temperature rises rapidly, forcing both men to sit on the floor with their heads lowered. While enduring the torture, Ray notices something important. Beneath them is a large steel plate secured by several bolts. The next morning, a prison doctor arrives to check their condition. As the doctor opens the door, Ray quickly asks where they are and what this place really is. The doctor doesn't answer. Unfortunately, a guard watching from above notices the conversation and immediately questions the doctor. "What did he ask you?" Thinking quickly, the doctor lies. He was only complaining about dehydration. Ray overhears everything and instantly realizes that the doctor is one of the few decent people in the prison. The following day, while sitting together during lunch, Michael asks Ray what he discovered inside the isolation box. Ray lowers his voice. "This prison is located near the ocean. The air is full of moisture, and I noticed a steel plate on the floor of the isolation box. If I can get a piece of metal, I can remove those bolts and possibly find a way out." Michael nods. "I'll get you the metal." Later, Warden Hobbs summons Michael to his office and begins questioning him about a man named Victor, but Michael refuses to reveal anything. Furious, Hobbs orders him tortured. Despite the pain, Michael says nothing. During the chaos, however, he secretly steals a small metal piece. As soon as he gets the chance, Michael delivers it to Ray. Holding the metal fragment in his hand, Ray understands the risk Michael took to obtain it. Their friendship grows stronger, and soon they begin sharing their stories. Ray asks Michael how he ended up in this prison. Michael explains that he is innocent. Years ago, he worked for a mysterious man named Victor, a modern-day Robin Hood who stole money from the rich and distributed it to the poor. The authorities desperately want Victor's location, believing he is hiding a massive fortune. Because Michael once worked for him, they imprisoned him here and have spent years trying to force the information out of him. But no matter what they do, Michael refuses to betray Victor. Then Michael asks Ray the same question. Ray takes a deep breath before answering. I used to be a prosecutor. He explains that years earlier he had successfully sent a dangerous criminal to prison. However, the criminal eventually escaped and returned for revenge. One night, he broke into Ray's home and murdered his wife. That tragedy destroyed Ray's life forever. After that, Ray says quietly, I realized that locking criminals up isn't enough. The prisons holding them must be impossible to escape from. That's why I joined a security company. My job is to test prisons and expose their weaknesses before real criminals can exploit them. For the first time, Michael truly understands who Ray is, and together, the two men begin planning the impossible, an escape from the most secure prison on Earth. I've successfully escaped from 14 prisons over the last 4 years, Ray tells Michael. The reason I do this is simple. I never want another criminal to escape and destroy an innocent family's life the way one destroyed mine. He then explains the harsh reality of his situation. The book he wrote about his 14 prison escapes has fallen into the hands of this prison's warden. Every mistake made by those previous wardens was carefully studied and corrected when this facility was built. That's why this prison feels almost impossible to escape from. The only advantage I have, Ray says, is that the warden still doesn't know who I really am. To him, I'm just another prisoner named Anthony. Michael listens carefully before revealing another shocking truth. Everyone in this prison is innocent, he says. This isn't a government facility. It's a private prison. Wealthy and powerful people pay the warden to make their enemies disappear. That's why we're all here. The revelation makes Ray realize just how dangerous this place truly is. Michael then asks what comes next. I got you the metal piece, he says. Now what's the plan? Ray looks around before lowering his voice. We need to get back into the isolation boxes. Michael immediately refuses. Have you forgotten how hot it gets in there? If we ever want to leave this place, Ray replies, we don't have a choice. Reluctantly, Michael agrees, though he warns Ray that if the plan fails and he remains trapped forever, he'll kill him himself. Ray then explains the strategy. Once they're placed inside the isolation boxes, Michael must scream and create as much noise as possible. The guards monitoring the cameras will focus entirely on him. While everyone is distracted, Ray will remove the steel plate beneath the box and explore whatever lies underneath. The plan sounds risky, but it's their best chance. Soon afterward, Michael deliberately starts insulting another inmate named Javid. The argument escalates quickly, and within moments, Javid's men attack both Michael and Ray. A massive fight erupts in the cafeteria. During the chaos, Ray secretly grabs a piece of bread from one of the tables and hides it in his pocket. The guards arrive almost immediately and break up the fight. As punishment, everyone involved is thrown into separate isolation boxes. The moment the doors close, the powerful heat lamps switch on. Right on cue, Michael begins screaming in agony. His cries attract the attention of every guard watching the surveillance feeds. While their focus remains fixed on Michael, Ray takes the piece of bread from his pocket and chews it into a sticky paste. He then spits it onto the camera lens above him, completely blocking the view. Now hidden from surveillance, Ray quickly removes the bolt securing the steel plate beneath the floor. Once the last bolt comes free, he lifts the plate and squeezes into the dark passage below. Crawling through the narrow tunnel, he eventually discovers a maintenance shaft connected to a network of ventilation pipes. He carefully climbs higher and higher, hoping the route will finally reveal the prison's location. Then disaster strikes. One of the pipes suddenly breaks beneath his weight. A powerful stream of water bursts out and begins flooding the lower levels. Despite the accident, Ray continues climbing until he finally reaches a hatch near the top of the structure. With his heart pounding, he slowly pushes it open and sticks his head outside. What he sees leaves him speechless. There is nothing. No land, no buildings, no mountains, only endless ocean stretching in every direction. At that moment, Ray finally understands the horrifying truth. This prison isn't located on an island. It's built inside a gigantic ship floating in the middle of the ocean. His hope instantly collapses. Even if he somehow escaped the prison itself, jumping into the freezing ocean would be a death sentence. There is simply nowhere to go. Completely defeated, Ray begins making his way back toward the isolation box. Meanwhile, the broken pipe continues flooding the prison. Water starts pouring into every isolation chamber, putting all the inmates at risk. Seeing the emergency unfold, the warden orders his guards to evacuate every prisoner immediately. As guards rush to unlock the isolation boxes, Ray desperately climbs back down through the maintenance shaft. He nearly loses his footing and falls several meters, but luckily, the flooded floor cushions his impact. Moments later, he reaches his box, quickly reinstalls the steel plate, tightens the bolts, and removes the bread covering the camera lens. Seconds later, the guards open the door and pull him out, completely unaware of what he has just discovered. Meanwhile, outside the prison, Ray's team is becoming increasingly worried. With no tracker signal signal and no clues about his whereabouts, they visit Clark's office and ask for help. Clark pretends to share their concern. "Don't worry," he tells them. "I've already assigned someone to find Ray. We'll locate him soon." After the team leaves, however, Clark's true colors emerge. He immediately calls the prison warden. "There's an inmate in your prison named Anthony," Clark says, "but Anthony isn't who he claims to be. He's the most dangerous escape artist in the world. He's broken out of 14 prisons and even wrote a book explaining how he did it." The warden seems confused. "I know that man," he replies. "His name is Ray." A smile appears on Clark's face. "Exactly," he says. "Anthony and Ray are the same person." The call ends, and suddenly everything becomes clear. Clark wasn't trying to rescue Ray. He was the one who betrayed him. He arranged the entire setup because he wanted complete control of the company and saw Ray as the only obstacle standing in his way. Back inside the prison, the warden now knows exactly who his mysterious prisoner really is. Determined to break him, he orders one of his guards to make Ray's life a living nightmare. All night long, the guard repeatedly slams a metal baton against Ray's glass cell, preventing him from sleeping. The next morning, the torture becomes even worse. Ray is brutally beaten and humiliated until both his body and spirit are shattered. For the first time in years, Ray begins to lose hope. Not only is he being tortured daily, but he has already seen with his own eyes that the prison is floating in the middle of the ocean. Escape seems impossible. The following day, Michael notices the change in him. "What did you see out there?" he asks. Ray slowly explains everything. "This prison is built inside a massive ship. We're somewhere in the middle of the ocean, and nobody knows where we are. Forget escape. It's impossible." For a moment, silence fills the room. Then Michael leans forward. "No," he says firmly. "You can't give up now. The people who trapped you here deserve to pay. Living like this isn't living at all. Even if the odds are impossible, we have to try." His words ignite something inside Ray. The fire that had nearly died begins burning once again. Determined not to surrender, Ray and Michael return to planning. Their first objective is clear. Before they can escape, they must figure out exactly where in the ocean this mysterious prison ship is located. To figure out where the prison ship is located, Michael intentionally injures Ray. This gives Ray a reason to visit the prison doctor for treatment. While the doctor is cleaning his wounds, Ray once again asks the question he has been desperate to answer. "Please tell me where we are." But just like before, the doctor refuses to say a word. However, before leaving the medical room, Ray secretly steals a white medical sheet. Later, he meets Michael and borrows a pair of glasses from another inmate. Using the lenses and the white sheet, the two manage to create a simple navigation device. It isn't much, but it could help them determine their location by tracking the stars. "The problem is," Ray explains, "we'll need access to the ship's upper deck at night. Only then can we use the stars to figure out where we are." Before they can discuss the plan further, two guards suddenly arrive and begin beating them. The warden had spotted them talking through the surveillance cameras and suspected they were planning something. Ray is dragged directly to the warden's office. This time, the warden doesn't bother hiding what he knows. "I finally figured out who you are," he says. "Your name isn't Anthony. You're Ray Breslin, the man who escaped 14 prisons and wrote a book explaining exactly how you did it." The warden smiles proudly. "And do you know what's funny? I used that very book to design this prison. Every mistake made by those 14 wardens was corrected here. That's why nobody can escape." Ray remains calm. "If you know who I am, then you also know I'm innocent. Let me go." The warden laughs. "Why would I do that? I'm being paid to keep you here." Realizing greed is the man's greatest weakness, Ray decides to manipulate him. "What if I could make you even richer?" Ray asks. The warden's expression changes immediately. Ray continues. "Michael trusts me completely now. I can tell you where Victor is hiding, but in exchange, you have to release me." The bait works perfectly. Driven by greed, the warden agrees. From that moment on, he stops interfering whenever Ray and Michael speak to each other. Every few days, he calls Ray into his office to ask about Victor's whereabouts. Each time, Ray feeds him completely false information, buying more time for their real escape plan. Of course, Michael knows about the deception. The entire thing is part of their strategy. Now all they need is confirmation of their location. Ray gives the homemade navigation device to Michael. "Give this to Javed," he says. "Nobody will suspect him. We've fought with him too many times." Michael agrees. Soon afterward, Javed approaches the warden with an offer. "There are prisoners planning an escape," he claims. "Make me your informant, and I'll tell you everything." The warden is interested. "What do you want in return?" "Just one thing," Javed replies. "Let me pray under the open sky." The request seems harmless, so the warden accepts. That night, Javed is escorted outside. While pretending to pray, he secretly studies the stars and marks their positions onto the navigation device. Later, he returns it to Ray. After analyzing the markings, Ray finally gets the answer they have been searching for. "We're in the Atlantic Ocean," he says. Michael stares at him. "Can you be more specific?" Ray nods. "The ship is somewhere near Morocco." For the first time, hope returns. Michael immediately remembers an old friend living in in Morocco. If we can get a message to him, he'll help us. The problem is finding a way to send that message. I'll handle that, Ray says. The next day, he visits the doctor again. You know we're innocent, Ray tells him. You have to help us. At first, the doctor refuses. Helping prisoners would mean risking his own life. But after repeated pleading, he finally agrees. Secretly, he sends a message to Michael's contact in Morocco. He also provides a specific time and location where help will be needed. Meanwhile, another part of the plan is unfolding. Javed approaches the warden and tells him that Ray intends to escape the following day. He claims that before the escape begins, a major riot will break out in cell block C. The warden immediately falls for the trap. He moves most of his guards to cell block C and personally begins monitoring the area. The next morning, however, the riot erupts in cell block A instead. Javed had lied. The entire thing was part of Ray's plan. As chaos spreads through block A, Ray, Michael, and Javed sprint toward the upper levels of the ship. Unfortunately, before they can reach the exit, the warden learns about the deception and immediately orders every security door on the vessel to lock down. The three men become trapped inside. Thinking fast, Ray cuts the camera wires and disables the surveillance system. But even with the cameras offline, guards continue finding them. Gunfire erupts throughout the corridors. The trio runs for their lives while bullets fly past them from every direction. During the firefight, Javed is hit by a bullet and collapses. Despite his injury, he keeps moving. Ray and Michael fight back, eliminating several guards as they advance. Yet Ray still can't understand how the guards keep tracking them despite the cameras being disabled. Then he notices something mounted on the wall, a motion detector. The prison isn't tracking them through cameras anymore. It's tracking movement. Ray immediately destroys the device. Instantly, their signals disappear from the warden's monitoring system. Now the hunters have become blind. Knowing time is running out, Ray turns to Michael. If we're going to escape, we have to stop the ship's engine. Once the engine shuts down, emergency protocols will unlock the upper access doors. Michael nods. What about you? I'll handle it. You don't even know if you'll survive. Ray gives a faint smile. I have a plan B. Without another word, he heads toward the engine room. Michael helps the wounded Javed continue forward. But after a few steps, Javed stops. Blood pours from his wound. I'm not making it much farther, he says quietly. Michael shakes his head. Don't say that. Javed smiles sadly. Just give me your gun. Reluctantly, Michael hands it over. Knowing what is about to happen, he says goodbye and continues toward the surface. Moments later, guards arrive. Javed opens fire. Alone and heavily wounded, he holds off an entire squad of armed guards, buying precious time for his friends. He fights with incredible courage, refusing to surrender. But eventually, the guards overwhelm him. A storm of bullets tears through his body. Javed dies a hero. Meanwhile, Ray successfully reaches the engine room and shuts down the ship's massive engines. The entire vessel shudders. Emergency systems activate. Above, the access door finally unlocks. Michael pushes it open and steps onto the deck. At that exact moment, a helicopter appears over the ocean. His friend has arrived. The helicopter circles the ship while its occupants open fire on the guards below. Using the chaos as cover, Michael races across the deck and reaches the aircraft. The pilot extends a hand. Get in! We have to leave now. But Michael refuses. We're not leaving without Ray. Back inside the ship, Ray is trapped. With guards closing in from every direction, he hides inside a massive fuel tank. The furious warden searches every corner until he finally discovers where Ray is hiding. A cruel smile spreads across his face. Standing outside the tank, he shouts, "It's over, Ray! Come out now!" And for the first time since entering the prison, Ray finds himself with nowhere left to run. "It's over, Ray!" the warden shouts from outside the tank. "You can't escape. We've surrounded you from every direction." At that exact moment, one of the guards restarts the ship's engine system. Almost instantly, water begins flooding into the tank where Ray is hiding. What the warden doesn't realize at first is that this isn't just an ordinary tank. It's the ship's stabilizer tank. Its purpose is to fill with water and then automatically discharge the excess through powerful outlets beneath the vessel. As the water level rises rapidly, the warden suddenly understands what's about to happen. His eyes widen. No! But it's already too late. Within seconds, the tank fills completely. The massive pressure launches Ray through the discharge system, shooting him out of the ship and into the open ocean. Moments later, Ray breaks through the surface of the water, gasping for air. Above him, the helicopter circles the prison ship. Michael spots him immediately. There he is! The helicopter moves closer, and Michael throws down a rescue ladder. Fighting against exhaustion, Ray grabs the ladder and begins climbing toward safety. But the nightmare isn't over yet. Standing on the deck below, the warden opens fire on the helicopter. Bullets tear through the air. One of them strikes Michael in the shoulder. Michael cries out in pain and nearly loses his grip. Seeing his friend wounded fills Ray with rage. He pulls out a weapon and returns fire. However, instead of aiming directly at the warden, Ray targets several massive oil tanks positioned nearby. Bullet after bullet slams into the containers. Oil begins pouring across the deck. Then, boom! A massive explosion rips through the ship. Flames engulf the entire section of the deck, and the warden is consumed by the fire. After spending years trapping innocent people inside his floating prison, he finally finally meets his end. With the warden gone, the impossible mission is finally complete. Ray and Michael escape aboard the helicopter and leave the prison ship far behind. A short time later, they land safely on the coast, where a vehicle is already waiting for them. As they approach the car, a familiar woman steps out, Jessica, the same woman who originally recruited Ray for the mission. But now the truth is finally revealed. Jessica isn't just a CIA operative, she's Michael's daughter. Ray is stunned. Before he can process that revelation, another bombshell drops. Michael's real name isn't Michael at all. His real name is Victor, the very same Victor whom the warden had been desperately searching for all these years. Suddenly, everything makes sense. The reason the warden constantly questioned Michael about Victor was because he never realized they were the same person. Victor had been hiding in plain sight the entire time. Jessica then reveals another secret. The name Anthony wasn't an alias, she explains. It was a code. Years earlier, Victor and Jessica had agreed that if anyone ever came to rescue him, they would use the name Anthony as an identification signal. That's why the moment Michael heard the name Anthony announced throughout the prison, he immediately knew Ray had been sent to help him. From that moment on, he chose to protect Ray and earn his trust. Ray finally realizes that the mission was never what he thought it was. Jessica smiles and says, "I never hired you to test the prison's security." "You didn't?" Ray asks. She shakes her head. "No, I hired you to rescue my father, and I knew there was only one person in the world capable of doing it." For the first time, Ray understands the true purpose behind everything that happened. The story comes to an end. If you enjoyed this incredible prison break story, then make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another mind-blowing movie explanation. Also, tell me in the comments, if you were trapped inside this floating prison, do you think you could escape? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.